I once got a call from a property manager in the Georgetown area of Washington, D.C., letting me know that their alarm was malfunctioned and they needed fire watch. The building had 10 floors, but there was only one apartment for each floor. When you go up the elevator, it literally opens up directly inside someone's apartment. It was a tall, skinny building. However, in Washington, D.C., a 10-floor building requires 7 people, regardless of how skinny that building may be. The property manager felt that since the building only had 1 unit per floor, the building should require fewer fire watch officers. I brought the request to the fire marshal. He looked at me and he said, "Look, I understand your property manager's position on this, but if there is a fire or someone gets hurt, I'll be the one standing at the podium behind the microphone in front of the cameras explaining why I made an exception, explaining why there was less people there than is required by the regulations." That conversation taught me a very important lesson about how fire marshals think. In this video, I'm going to show you the specific statements that make fire marshals angry and how to avoid these mistakes so that you can keep a good, positive relationship with your fire marshal. Coming up, you'll learn why fire marshals react so strongly to certain statements. You'll learn the number one thing that will permanently destroy your relationship with a fire marshal. Which common complaint actually makes the situation worse instead of better. You'll also learn how to communicate when you are still choosing the fire watch company. And you will learn why understanding the fire marshal's perspective changes everything. The fire marshal has 2 primary concerns that drive every decision they make. The first concern is the safety of the people in the building. The second concern is not being blamed if something goes wrong. Fire marshals are public officials who answer to the community. If there is a fire, injury, or heaven forbid death, the fire marshal is the one who has to stand in front of the cameras and behind the microphones. They have to explain every decision, every exception, every choice they made. Their career and reputation are on the line. This is not about being difficult or unreasonable. It's about safety and public accountability. When you understand this mindset, you understand why certain statements trigger strong reactions from the fire marshal. Your goal is to communicate in a way that respects the fire marshal's position and helps them do their job. The first mistake is complaining about cost or staffing requirements. I understand why this happens. Fire alarm repairs and fire watch are unwanted, unexpected problems that cost a lot of money. Even worse, money that in most cases was not planned in the budget. Tenants are calling about disruptions, the fire marshals requiring more personnel than you expected. It can be overwhelming. When you are under that kind of pressure, it's natural to want the fire marshal to be more understanding of your situation. You might say things like, "This is costing us so much money," or "This is eating into our budget," or "Do we really need this many people?" I get it. You're trying to find a solution that works for safety and your budget. But here's what happens. When you say, "This is costing us so much money," the fire marshal hears, "I value money over safety." Remember their perspective. They're accountable for safety decisions. Cost complaints signal to them that you prioritize budget over safety and compliance. Fire marshals cannot and will not compromise safety for financial reasons, and it's a good thing that they won't. What should you do instead? Ask factual questions about the requirements. For example, can you walk me through the staffing calculation? Show you care about compliance. What do we need to do to comply with the regulations? No matter how the inspector responds to these statements or questions, keep your emotions and complaints out of the conversation. Accept the requirements that they give you and move forward. I know it's hard when you're caught in the middle, but complaining about costs creates friction. And there is something even worse than complaining about money. This next mistake permanently destroys your relationship with the fire marshal. Never lie or tell the fire marshal anything that is not 100% accurate. I understand the pressure you're under. The building owner wants to know when this will be fixed. Tenants are upset. You're trying to coordinate contractors and vendors. You feel like you need to give people answers even when you don't have them yet. This could lead a person to tell the fire marshal that fire watch is in place when it's not quite ready, or promise repairs will be done by a date you know is unrealistic, or say you have fire watch on the way when you're still selecting a vendor for it. I understand why this happens. You're trying to manage multiple problems at once, but this is the fastest way to destroy the relationship with the fire marshal permanently. Once trust is broken, every future interaction becomes adversarial. Fire marshals are human beings. They have long memories. Here's why this matters so much. As I said before, fire marshals are responsible for public safety. If they trust you and something goes wrong, their career is on the line. They depend on accurate information to make decisions. A lie puts them into a position where they can't do their job effectively. Remember, they're the ones who stand in front of the cameras if there is an incident. Here's a consequence that affects you. Once you lie, the fire marshal will verify everything you say moving forward. They'll show up unannounced more often. They'll require more documentation. They'll treat you as a risk. The relationship shifts from a cooperative to enforcement-based relationship. Your job just got a whole lot harder. So what should you do instead? Be completely transparent about your situation. Admit it if you're behind schedule. Give realistic timelines. And if you don't know when it will be repaired, say, I don't know when it will be repaired. Follow through on every commitment you make, however. Under-promise and over-deliver. I know it feels kind of risky to admit when things aren't perfect, but honesty protects you. Lying creates bigger problems down the road, and those problems can get really expensive in the forms of fines. There is one more thing that creates unnecessary problems. It is the statement that property managers think sound responsible, but sends the wrong message. Never tell the fire marshal that you are delaying getting fire watch because you are still collecting proposals and awaiting approval from your corporate office. I understand why you want to do this. You're trying to be responsible and follow your corporate processes. I get it. You want to compare options. You want to make sure you get the best price and the best service. You're thinking about your budget and the building owner's expectations. So you tell the fire marshal, we're still in the process of collecting proposals, or we're comparing vendors to find the best option. You think this sounds thorough and professional, but here is what the fire marshal hears. I've decided to leave my building unprotected while I shop around for the best price. This also leads him to think this person does not understand or respect the urgency of this situation. And please believe, the fire marshal has plenty of fines that they can give you to create that sense of urgency. From their perspective, your alarm is down and people are at risk right now. They don't care about your procurement process. They care about the lives of the people in the building. So what should you do instead? Make a decision quickly. You should select a fire watch company within an hour and have fire watch in place within a couple hours, not days. If you have selected a fire watch company but are waiting on an ETA from the company, tell the fire marshal what's happening. As soon as you have an ETA, send the fire marshal an update. That demonstrates that you're doing everything you can and that you care about safety and compliance. I know dealing with the fire marshal, fire watch, and fire alarms can be stressful. You're managing the pressure from every direction. Building owners want costs down, tenants want answers, fire marshals want compliance. You're caught in the middle trying to make everyone happy. The easiest way to handle fire marshal communication and fire watch compliance is to work with a fire watch company that includes an account manager who knows exactly how to communicate and how to keep everything compliant. That is exactly what we do at Urgent Security and Firewatch. Every client is assigned an account manager who's a Firewatch compliance expert that will work with you throughout the process from start to finish to make sure you're on the right path and that you get what you need done in a way that is effective, reliable, and compliant. Visit our website to see how we provide reliable Firewatch service that can help you navigate the Firewatch requirements. Visit us at urgentsecurity.com. If you want to learn the Firewatch requirements specifically for your area, be sure to visit our online Firewatch guide. It explains the Firewatch regulations in every jurisdiction in the DC metro area. You can see that at firewatchguide.com. The link is also in the description of this video.